Hey there, and welcome to The Deep Dive.
Hello.
We're diving into something really special today because the source material for this one, it actually comes directly from you.
That's right. We're looking at excerpts from a book called Einblick in Tunisian. And our mission really is to unpack these specific insights you shared. We want to discover the fascinating surprises about Tunisia.
Yeah, it's a country in North Africa that, as this book really shows, is just packed with history, culture, unique landscapes too, far more than you might think at first glance.
Definitely. So where do we start?
Okay, let's jump in. Right off the bat, Einblick in Tunisian highlights Tunisia's past as like the center of the Carthaginian Empire.
A major power.
And the book reminds us this is where Hannibal came from, you know, the general who famously took on Rome in the Punic Wars.
Right, that legendary figure. And what's incredible, according to this source, is how those ancient ruins are still there. You can practically see them near Tunis, the modern capital.
It's amazing how that ancient past, as the material points out, just lives alongside the present day.
Exactly. But then the book kind of pivots to something maybe more unexpected, a connection to modern pop culture.
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, and this source material definitely brings it up, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
The book details how scenes from the original movies were filmed right there in the Tunisian desert, places like Matmata and Tatooine.
And this material specifically notes that Tatooine wasn't just a backdrop. It actually inspired the name for Luke Skywalker's home planet.
Tatooine. It's such a neat tie-in, isn't it? How this, ancient land influenced science fiction.
It really is. And beyond the visual stuff, Einblick in Tunisian also touches on the language. It's a unique blend.
Right. Arabic is the official language, but the book emphasizes how widely French is spoken, a clear legacy of, the colonial past.
And we learn from this material that many Tunisians just sort of switch between the two pretty effortlessly. It creates this rich linguistic mix the book describes.
Sounds like the landscape itself has a similar kind of diversity.
Oh, absolutely, as the material shows. It mentions Tunisia has this huge chunk of the Sahara Desert. The dunes, but also those shimmering salt flats like the Chad el Djerid.
Wow.
Yeah, the book really paints a picture of a country holding both vast desert plains and a beautiful coastline, sometimes quite close together.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, but still talking about moments of major impact. Einblick in Tunisian also reminds us Tunisia was the birthplace of the Arab Spring.
The Jasmine Revolution, back in 2010. And this section of the material is particularly insightful. It describes it as a peaceful protest movement that, according to the book's count, led to pretty significant political changes in Tunisia.
And inspired movements across the region, too.
Exactly. It really raises that important point, about how huge global events can sometimes spring from very specific local circumstances, like they did here.
And speaking of unique local spots, the book mentions Matmata, again, those troglodyte homes.
Right. Highlighting how people there still live in these traditional homes carved directly into the earth.
So cool.
And the material explains these structures were designed centuries ago, basically natural air conditioning to stay cool in the heat. It's an incredible example of adaptation the book highlights.
Living inside the earth. Then Einblick in Tunisian takes us to the coast. It points out the architecture in places like Sidi Bou Said.
Oh yeah, the blue and white houses. Really distinctive with those vibrant doors the book mentions, often painted with symbols. Just charming.
It sounds beautiful. And connecting back to the sort of foundation of the country, the book talks about agriculture, specifically olive oil.
A major part of the economy,
Yeah.
And what's remarkable, the material states, is that Tunisia isn't just a top producer. Some of the olive trees still bearing fruit are literally thousands of years old.
Thousands of years. That's incredible.
Isn't it? The book also points to this deep religious history. Places like the Great Mosque of Kairouan, built way back in the 7th century. And Kairouan itself is considered a holy city, according to the material.
And you can't talk culture without food, right?
Yeah.
Does the book mention that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Einblick in Tunisian doesn't miss it. It highlights couscous, the national dish, but specifically notes Tunisia's unique spicy version. Often with harissa, maybe lamb or seafood. A bold flavor profile, it calls it.
It's delicious. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Looking across all the insights this book, Einblick in Tunisian provided, What have we seen?
Well, we've journeyed from ancient Carthage and Hannibal all the way to Star Wars sets.
Right, and the birthplace of the Arab Spring. We've seen Sahara dunes and those blue and white coastal towns.
Learned about thousand-year-old olive trees, ancient mosques.
And even got a taste of that spicy couscous, at least in description.
Exactly. This deep dive into your source material, it really reveals a country of striking contrasts, deep layers, ancient history bumping up against modern pop culture.
Vast desert next to a vibrant coast. Profound history alongside very recent revolution.
And all these unique cultural elements born from that mix.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Given Tunisia's history, like the book shows, as this crossroads and its recent role in global events, what does its unique blend of influences suggest about how even, smaller countries can sometimes shape the world in really significant ways?
That's definitely something from your own sources to mull over.